All right, so let's talk about data operations now. Okay, so what do I mean by data operations? In web applications, there are four types of things that you can do. You can create, you can read, you can update, you can delete. Okay, so these four abstractions, you can cobble them together to do make pretty much anything in the web. So create means you made a new thing in the database. So creating a menu order, creating an order, creating a menu item. Reading means I'm just reading the menu information, reading the order information. Update means I changed something. So let's say, for example, the order has been submitted to the restaurant. It has a status type, and the restaurant kind of accepts the order, and we're building it. We're not building it, cooking it. So the status of the order changed to in the kitchen being cooked, so that we can update a thing in the database. Deleting a thing, I just like, okay, delete this order. Ordering delete would be weird, but a restaurant owner maybe wants to delete a menu item. We don't do XYZ ice cream anymore, we do this now. Okay, so deleting. So if we combine all of these operations, these are the things that we can run on the database. Now in Bubble, each of these kind of operation maps to a feature in Bubble. Okay, in a workflow, we can create a thing, which is a new thing. In a data source property, we can, so for reading, we can search for a thing in the database and display it. We can make changes to a thing in a workflow action, which changes it. We can delete a thing in a workflow action, which deletes a thing. Okay, so once again, we can create a new menu item, product, cupcake, which adds a new thing in the database. We can fetch, do a search in the database and just display it. Okay, we can make changes to a thing in the database, and we can delete a thing in the database. So let's take a look at a live demo and see what all these four operations look like. So in our, now what do we pick? Okay, let's pick items. All right, just name, about, price, and at the moment there are no items in the database. So if we had to, what do we need for items? Let's ignore the about. Let's just make the name. Let me just clear this a bit. Place this in the center. So we have a name of an item. Okay, it's a type text. We have the price of an item. It's of type decimal. Okay, we have create a new menu item. Okay, let's see. So we have our UI now. Imagine from the perspective of a restaurant owner creating new menu items. Okay, now what happens on this button click? Okay, what do I want? I want to create a new thing in the database. What is the type of the thing? The type of the thing is an item. And then I want to set the fields when I'm creating. I want to set the name to be of the, I'll change the labels 1 second. Input, this is name now. Input, this is price now. Okay, so create start now. So the name should be input name value. The price should be input price value. That's the end of the workflow. So I just create a new item. So what does this now kind of feel like? So if I enter chips, $1, create a new menu item. I clicked it once, it doesn't appear here. But if I go into my database, data, here it is. Price 1, chips, create date, created by, modify date. These are built-in types, built-in fields. Now, ideally, I want this to clear after creating. So we have another workflow action for this. Recommended reset relevant inputs. So next time I'm gonna, let's say I want to add another entry. So ice cream price 5, create a new item. I just realized that this is really small. Okay, that should be much better now. All right, so no, that's good. Okay, so the name, not ice cream, we've done that already. Juice, $1, create a new item. And now if you look at our data tab, and if you look at, okay, juice 1, ice cream 5, chips 1, we are creating things in the database. Now, what about reading things? Okay, so we want to display all the items here somewhere. Let's create a text element. Okay. In fact, we should use the container, a special container for it, which is the repeating group. Okay, now the repeating group can fetch a list of things from the database. So the repeating group the type is items. We're doing a search for items in the database. Now, once we've done a search for items in the database, we have these list. So each row is one item. Now in each row, I want to place a text element. So see, it says edit me. Each row shows the same thing. And then inside my repeating group, we have a special custom type itself, custom kind of variable, current cell item. Now current cell item name. And if we place another element here, current cell items price. Now if I do a search, I see chips 1, ice cream 5, juice 1. All right. Now I read information from a database. Now reading, of course, I can also do a search in just a text itself. So insert, do a search for items. Now here, there's a little error which says, okay, you're doing so like dynamic data must be printable as text, but instead it's a list of items. I need to go from list of items to text. Okay, so what does that mean? What is a text element? A text kind of dynamic data. The name, each item's name is a dynamic, is a text. So if I click this here, chips, ice cream, juice. So this in a repeating group is one fashion, in a text element is another fashion. So this is the read operation. Now we're going to do a modify operation or an update operation, make changes to thing. So let's say we want to, what should we change? If we want to change the price, we're going to need an input element to change the price of an item. Okay. If we want new price, and we need a button here which says update. Okay. Yeah, it's in fact, let's place this outside. Ideally, the way I would do it, in fact, that may get a slightly complicated, but I think we're now getting ready. Let's place a pop-up in our page. Okay, a pop-up. Now what do we want to do? If we want to click the update button, we want to open a pop-up and ask, what do you want to update? You want to update the price? You want to update the name? Okay, so let's start one by one. Start edit workflow. We show the pop-up, show an element, pop-up A. Okay, where's pop-up A? In my element tree, pop-up A is here, pop-up edit item. Now what can I edit here? We can copy this group itself again into the pop-up. Okay, so I have the name, price, and change this name to update. So let's change these values in input name, edit, input price, edit. Okay, so now how do we go from this particular line item to the pop-up? Okay, so what I mean by, if I open a pop-up, let's say, okay, update, same thing, update here, same thing. So if I click on the chips update, ice cream update, juice update, we want to tell that pop-up what we're talking about. This is a juice, ice chips, or ice cream. We just can't the pop-up doesn't magically understand the data type. So we need to give a reference, tell us this thing is what you're gonna need to update. Okay. How do we do that? So in the pop-up, we define that the pop-up has a type of content. Okay, remember we had that parent-child relationship, and we could also pass data between groups and pop-ups. Okay, so we can say the pop-up expects an item to be defined. Okay, the data source. Now, when we click update, don't just show the pop-up item, also display data in a group or pop-up. And when you display data, the data you want to pass is the current cell item. So because we have this, like in a repeating group, we can have the current cell item price, current cell item name. Inside the workflow action, we can also refer to the current cell. We start edit, update, show the pop-up, also pass the display, pass the current cell item to the display data, to the pop-up using the display data workflow action. So now once we have the pop-up, let's just, for the sake of argument, display what we are editing parent group, so the child is referring to the parent group type is item, editing parent group item name. Okay, so let's see what happens now. If I click update here, editing chips, update here, editing ice cream, update here, editing juice. Okay, now let's preload the content here. Okay, we will now notice here inside the pop-up we have group B that's nesting everything. So we need to pass our item to the group as well. So we're passing it to item, and the data source for this would be parent group item. So we can go from the repeating group in the page to the pop-up, and inside the pop-up to the group. Now inside the group, in the element, the initial content will just preload it to the parent group item's name. The price preloaded parent group item's price. Okay, now let's see what this looks like. So if I click update, I see chips and price 1 already. If I click update ice cream, I see ice cream and 5 already. So it's preloaded. This was the original content. It's preloaded here. Now I just need to make the changes like create, read, update, delete. So update the values here. What workflow should come here? So I click start edit workflow. Now I will do a make changes to thing. So make changes to thing. Now what's the thing that I'm changing? I passed the thing all the way from the repeating group to the pop-up to the group. Now the button knows make changes to parent group item. What field do I change? Change the name, change the price. The name is input name edit. So note we changed the, so this input is called input name edit. This input is called input price edit. The one outside was input name, input price. Okay. So if we just place it here, this is a create a new item. We have edit in a pop-up here. Now update in a pop-up here. All right, continuing with the workflow on the button. So make changes to item, name, input name edits value, price, input price edits value. What would happen if we put input name value here? Very easy mistake. I've done it many times. It doesn't work. Okay, it refers to a different input element and it messes up the database. So we just have to refer to the correct element, and that's why naming elements nicely just has a good impact. Okay, so now after we've made changes to the item, let's just hide the pop-up. Okay, let's just hide an element, hide the pop-up. Okay, so if I refresh now, okay, so I can click update, chips, amazing chips for $2 because they're amazing. I click update, the pop-up hides, amazing chips, $2. Ice cream, okay, let's make it mango ice cream. It's $10. Update, this thing is now changed into mango ice cream. If I look in the database, all items, refresh, mango ice cream, amazing chips. The modified timestamp has changed itself. Okay, it was created 10 minutes ago, modified just now. All right. Now the next operation that we are talking about is deleting things. Okay. Now again, it has a workflow. In our repeating group, let's place an icon. Okay, the trash icon. Okay, so trash icon, let's make it red. Okay, can make the icon rotate, which is an interesting feature. It's useful for the circular ones. Now this icon, what do you want it to do? You just want it to delete a thing. Okay, so trash icon, when trash icon is clicked, delete thing. What thing do I delete? Current cell item, because I'm inside my repeating group, I can refer to the current cell. Okay, so if I refresh the page, I can see this new trash icon. Now this is actually bad UX at the moment, because once I click once, it'll just disappear and delete permanently from the database. Ideally, what I should have done was on this delete, I should pass the reference in a pop-up, ask the user, are you sure you want to delete? Yes, confirm I want to delete. Are you sure you want to delete item name, juice? Are you sure I want to delete mango? So at the moment, I don't have the double confirmation pop-up. Very frequent request by all our clients. Can you just add a double pop-up? Now we do it by default anyways. Okay, so if I click once, it's gone. Okay, in my database, it's just gone. Okay, if I wanted to add another, create mango ice cream. $9.99. Create, done. Reading, I see it. Update, oh, it's actually $5.99. Update, delete, done. So I have 4 types of operation: create, read, update, delete. And you can, it's a combination of UI, database, workflow, design, logic, database. Those 3 words I keep referring: design, logic, workflow, database. All these combinations come together. We have a bit of a UI. We have a menu page almost now, where a restaurant owner can log in. He can like create his own menu, change the price. He can delete things from the menu. It's just coming together. We have an app already almost. All right. So thank you very much. I think this should be enough for the data side of the video, and looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.